Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk about online dating, that thing that I said I'd talk about that I haven't actually got around to talking about yet, and so I'm going to do it right now. And so ultimately, I had a little bit of experience with online dating because I took part in some experiments with some other coaches a while back in regards to like trial and error over several different platforms. And we kind of split them up between us, and we each kind of generated a profile, and we tried doing X, Y, and Z, and we tried doing this, we tried doing that, and it was more a kind of way of taking a look at how best things worked, but also just because us as coaches, people were coming to us for relationship advice or for kind of coaching on how to kind of achieve a better work-life balance that included their relationships. And as a result, some of this stuff, online dating is a great utility for this. And it's one of these things that is a very, very large industry now with many different competitors and an awful lot of different things going on. So much so that you've got things like the now infamous Christian Mingle, or other sites that are as specific, where it's like, this is my defining feature of my life, and I need someone that has the same defining feature. Not necessarily a thing, not necessarily something that I would kind of attach myself to in any way, because I feel like locking yourself down like that is potentially kind of I don't know, it's going to slow down your progress more. But here are the thing. Overall, there seem to be two types of site, and obviously these kind of break down to ones that are maybe more like eHarmony, I would say, that are very much more to do with looking for some kind of long-term partner, looking for something else, and also it tends to be there for the more selective and the more stable people, because they are paying towards it, and as a result you get a really different crowd, and I'll get into that a little more later. But then also you got the more hookup culture esque kind of ones, like Tinder, obviously, as the biggest one out there, or the best known at the very least. And then you've got a smattering of ones in between, like I would say Plenty of Fish, which kind of rose to prominence a few years back, or Match.com, .co.uk, both, whichever. They're also kind of sat in the middle at various places along this kind of spectrum, from hookup culture to looking for a long-term relationship but using technology to do it. And here's the thing, though, people tend to approach these in very, very like odd and straightforward ways that no one tells you about, and you don't see until you're already on the site and you're already looking at this stuff. And this is where I kind of want to address it, because there have been friends that I've maybe suggested using online dating to, or the I've told my my experiences to, and then they've tried to use the site, but they've fallen into one of these two things, and so it's a very kind of weird mix. And so here are the two main groups that people tend to fall into. If they head towards one like eHarmony, where they seem to want something more long term or something more thorough, and they tend to be more picky because of the money that they're putting towards it, for the full service, that is. And so as a result, like, that pickiness, people are very, very specific about what they want, unrealistically so, yeah. And as a result, they will shoot you down. They will not give you a chance if you do not tick every single one of their. But if they're a bit more forgiving, they'll maybe give you a couple of like ticks that they can ignore. But for the most part, they want you to be very, very within what they want, because they're not necessarily, they get into that investment bias kind of mindset where it's like, I've put money towards this. It's a service that I'm buying. I've made the right decision in doing that. However, that means that the thing that I get back from it has to be correct. And so it's almost mail order bride kind of levels in certain instances. But then on the hookup culture side of things, obviously this is where all of the kind of current discussions in various places around things like dick pics, and why things like Snapchat became much more popular in various places, and why you've got all of these arguments over censorship in various places for images that are being shared from one place or another, and why you've got entire boards of like, look at what this person said to me on Tinder and it was hilarious because I shut them down like this, or they were just hopeless and so I just, you know, it's there's an awful lot more just, I'm going to put myself out there, I'm open to pretty much anything, let's see what happens because I'm maybe not thinking about this for the long term. And now neither of those things are necessarily completely bad. I mean, you know, not settling, not, you know, allowing yourself some room to be selective and choose what you want, that's important. But also that kind of prejudiced picking up on people and just going, you don't tick every box and therefore I don't want anything to do with you. You know, again, it just kind of devalues it for both the person that's having that opinion, but also the other person who then eventually ends up, you know, the number of people that you would go onto their profiles on eHarmony especially and be like, you know, the first couple of lines would be like, oh, I ran away from this last time because people were just so much hard work, but now I'm back because I'm lonely. And it's like, right, okay, I can understand that just simply because of how selective people are. But then you jump across to something like Tinder, where there is an awful lot of openness, an awful lot of like silly profiles and things like that. Or you've got people who are trying to use that platform like the other one. And as a result, you get a lot more of people being pushy because they're like, well, I'm completely open to everything, so you're surely here for the same thing, right? So here, have all of this. This is my penis. And so as a result, it becomes a bit of a quagmire, you know, and especially with the kind of ones that are in between, you need to give it some time. You need to have some patience with these things. Because even if you end up like getting dates, going out, meeting people, and so on and so forth, like you might think that it's gone very well, and you want to communicate more, and you want to develop more from it. So you're trying to make a next date. You're trying to make more headway, have more conversations. The problem is it's still social media, essentially. Whether it's a dating app or a dating site or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still social media, and as a result, people aren't always going to be responding to messages. Sometimes they're going to be really sucky at responding to messages. Sometimes they're going to over message. Sometimes they're going to come across, because it's all in text, you're not going to be able to monitor tone, you're not going to be able to do anything else, and so you're not going to be able to see how it goes or which way it goes, how it's going to work, like relative to if you were sat there having this conversation with a person face to face. And so when it comes to the online dating world, there are probably 3 things that I would suggest as advice. The first thing is be open, but like have your limits. Yeah, don't be kind of like, oh, they have to hit every single box that I'm putting out here. But you know, if someone has to like cats, if they want to be with you, then make sure that they like cats. Great. You know, have some simple like boundaries that are very straightforward, that are actually relative to your life. You know, you can't start picking people on height or like a very specific height. I'm not saying I like short girls or whatever else like that, but going, you have to be exactly this height, because that's a thing and it's ridiculous. You know, throw out some things that maybe you'd like, but obviously don't just shut people down purely because they aren't exactly what ticks the box. Yeah? Because that way you're just potentially like shutting yourself off from someone that's potentially going to be really cool, even if you don't get with them. You know, even if you don't actually go on a date or anything like that, they might just be cool to talk to. That is as much part of these sites as anything else. They are social media. Use them as such. But then the other couple of things. So allow yourself to kind of be open, but with boundaries. The second thing is you need patience, because this will take time. You aren't going to instantly jump on and be matched with every single person that's perfect for you. There are going to be hits. There are going to be misses. There are going to be people who are somewhere in the middle. There are going to be people thinking exactly the same thing about you, and so as a result, you know, you need to give it some time. You need to also get to slowly know, get to know these people if you're hoping to build anything from it. Whether it's a short-term thing or a long-term thing, you need to have some kind of rapport going. Yeah, and patience and openness and being just a genuine and authentic person, those are going to give you so much more kind of leeway and leverage and kind of impetus to kind of keep you going, than not. Yeah. And then the last thing that I would say, which stands out a lot, even if people are trying to be open and they've kept their boundaries to kind of a reasonable limit, don't try and use it like a marketplace. Be easy, relax. Yeah, there are going to be so many people on there who are stressed because they are being judged by other people. They are incredibly insecure. They worry how their friends will see them using this. And so there's a lot of pressure using online dating as much as there is in dating in person. So be forgiving of that and just try and keep yourself calm, because if you're calm, then maybe you'll help them cool off and calm down, and then maybe you can actually have some kind of productive conversation and see where things go. Yeah, those would be my 3 bits of advice relative to the whole scene. And so, I'd love to hear your guys' experiences with online dating. It was one of the most fascinating and fun and enjoyable and weird times that I have had since I started doing any kind of coaching. And so, as a result, it kind of has a special place in my heart, almost as a kind of weird semi-industry specific thing that I just find fascinating. Yeah, especially when people have come up with mathematical formulae and the best ways to create various things and how to manage things and stuff like that. Some of it is on the ball, some of it is really weird and out there. The one thing that I can't stand is the people that try to sell you very specific kind of instruction manuals on how to win at this stuff, because there are ways that you can interact with people that will improve your chances, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, a one size fits all approach to stuff is very limiting, and at times when people take your money to get you to rely on those things, they don't also give you the perspective to allow you wiggle room if something starts to go wrong, or if you hit a place that hasn't been covered in what they've given you. So, there's that. But yeah, I'd love to hear what your guys' experiences are. Funny or ridiculous or upsetting or just really good. Please drop them down in the comments if you've got them. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please drop us a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow.